The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 10, the Deca episode, numero 10 of MMA to the Max. I am your host, Robert Taylor, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Joe Hudson, a.k.a. Riverside Joe. What's up, Joe? What are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic tonight, man. I really appreciate it. I also like the new nickname, Riverside Joe. That works well, man. I'm going to have to take that one.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I totally ripped it off from MMA Hour, New York Rick. I think you're a lot cooler. And I think Riverside's a lot cooler than New York. So, hey, Riverside Joe, man. I mean, I'm in the high desert. I'm in Victorville. You're in Riverside. It works for me. It's almost the same, I guess.
Hey, the same hometown and the same high school as Lorenz Larkin. You know, he followed in my footsteps, going through that school, kicking ass and taking names. So, cheers to Riverside.
That's right. I mean, I'm from Riverside. My entire family. Obviously, you know, we're from Riverside. We had to move up here when we were younger because of the younger brother and his asthma issues. We had to move up to a cleaner climate, as they at the time, at least. I don't think it applies now.
No.
By far.
Not anymore, brother.
Yeah, not anymore. But at that time, yeah, we had to move up here. But Riverside, I always considered my home. And it's always a pleasure for me to go down there and visit, to watch fights or hang out or do anything like that. Maybe not to help you move. That's for damn
117 degree heat. That's what's funny is you helped me move a little over a year ago. It was 114 degrees, and that was the same day as Holly Holm Shevchenko. That was the day I think both of us really kind of fell in, at least me particularly, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, fell in love with her fighting style and her quickness, that check right hook that she has and everything else. And that was the day that I was like, dude, that girl's going to be something.
No, I think you're absolutely right, because I believe you, myself, in our UFC Fantasy League had picked Shevchenko, had picked Holm, and I believe everybody else picked Holm. Shevchenko was a very large underdog in that fight. And although we all knew she had the skills, she had beaten Joanna Jędrzejczyk at Muay Thai kickboxing matches. She had 2-0 against her. But that was, I believe, at 125. She's a natural 125-pounder. But we didn't think that would transfer at 135 pounds in MMA. So while we recognized how great she looked against Amanda Nunes in their first fight, we thought she lost that fight 2-1.
Yeah.
And we didn't think that Holly Holm would lose to her. We didn't think she'd be able to counter Holly Holm's boxing and kickboxing credentials.
Well, that's what we
at the time.
thought. Again, Holly Holm weighing, she fought, I think, upwards of 155 pounds or so when she boxed. So she fought bigger. She was bigger. She had, I would think, the better arsenal of traditional kickboxing and distance. She has great takedown defense, and it just seemed like she would be the bigger, stronger fighter, which she was. But technically, Shevchenko just outmatched her big time, and
Shevchenko countered the hell out of her in that fight. And it was a master class in counter striking, especially for women's MMA.
Led the way. Yep.
Yeah, it was amazing, especially for somebody who should be fighting at 125 pounds. Which brings us to the show tonight, which is a review of UFC 215, Johnson versus Borg. Just kidding.
Wait. Johnson versus Borg. Did I turn the TV off too soon? Did I miss that fight? I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. God. It was a stupid dad joke type of joke on my part, but I was hoping it would help illustrate the fact of how disappointed I am that fight did not happen. Even though we all knew the result, we all knew it was going to happen. It was still very disappointing not seeing Mighty Mouse do his thing.
We were all watching, waiting patiently with bated breath to see that record broken. Anderson Silva, considered one of the greatest of all times, and rightfully so. But I still think when it comes to overall skill set and mixing it up, Demetrius Johnson is the GOAT. So to see him take that record from Anderson Silva, dude, I've been talking about this for weeks, and then in the morning I look at my Twitter feed and I see that Borg had to pull out because he was sick. Dude, all I'm thinking in my head is if I had a time machine, I would have gone back and told TJ Dillashaw, get ready, be on weight, submit your medicals, dude. You know what I mean? Because how awesome would that have been if he could have stepped in?
Well, how awesome could it have been if Sergio Pettis stepped in? Sergio Pettis was actually in Edmonton, and he said that if he would have gotten that notice ahead of time, if he would have saw his Twitter, if he would have woken up earlier and saw it, he would have tried to make that fight.
I think he could have made weight in one day. I mean,
he would have tried. He would have done it, but either way, he wouldn't have been ready.
Yeah.
Before we continue, because I do want to talk to you about where you were when you got that news. And we're going to talk about where I was when I got that news, because I can tell you exactly where I was when I got that news, because I got that news on a Thursday evening. And I had an amazing Thursday evening.
What was your Thursday evening, my friend?
We will talk about that in a minute, but we are going to talk about our usual M&M Max Beer of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, your host here, Robert Taylor, has gone from a usual hoppy craft beer. He's drinking a delicious Modelo Cerveza. Anybody that's had Corona and has never had Modelo is a finer taste than Corona. It's got kind of the same taste, but it is a lot better. Whereas Corona, for a lot of people, Corona, you have to throw it with some lime and salt. Modelo, you don't. You can just drink that. So some people like to put some lime juice in it still, but you don't need it. Modelo is a smoother, crisper Corona. Joe, what are you drinking tonight? Because I'm sure you're going to be a little better than me on this.
Well, I would like to make note on the Modelo. It's one of my favorite beers as well. The saying that is on Corona is cerveza más fina. Well, I'd have to say that Modelo is cerveza mucho más fina.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to drink I mean, let's be honest. They call it import, but it's not. It's totally domestic.
Yeah, it's right down the street from us. It's not imported.
They call it import because originally it was, but it's totally owned and produced domestically. So
I think
it is
Sierra
not
Nevada
an import.
is further away from our actual address.
Yeah. No, great point. So, but when it comes to domestic beers, Modelo is the way to go. I do want to shout out to my brother Doug. We had this argument for the longest time about Modelo and Corona, which is the better beer. I didn't believe him because I was into that whole Fast and the Furious phase where if you can drink, you have anything you want to drink, as long as it's Corona.
Well, I just want to make sure that before I announce my beer of the week, I want to make sure that Doug get the recording ready because Robert's going to say something he's never said before. Go ahead and tell him. Doug?
Hey, you had a good point.
No, you were right, Doug.
You were right. Yeah, you were right. You're right. Enjoy.
I was wrong.
I can't wait till I get that text message in the morning when I'm passed out, like hungover. I wake up and I look at my text message. He's like, ha ha ha.
Hey, look, I warned him to get the recording out, so he could hear it, record it, and play it back to you every time you disagree with him. But my beer of the week is Stella Artois.
Oh, so good.
Great Belgium beer, brewed by the Belgians in Belgium, and
is it anymore? I mean, they bought all the? Didn't they buy Budweiser? Don't they own all the distilleries in Budweiser now? So is it really owned or brewed in Belgium?
Look, it says it's imported lager beer. Okay,
it says it is
1366.
I love Stella. I think Stella's a delicious lager. I think it's a delicious drink. I think it's one of those lagers, though, those beers that are definitely better on tap than in bottle.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a Guinness is definitely better on tap than in bottle.
Absolutely. So when you go to a bar and you see that a Stella's on tap, definitely get it because it tastes so much better than in a bottle. And I mean, obviously, in the bottle it's still good, but. Then again, can't that be said about every beer for the most part?
Yeah, except for if you're going to drink Coors Light or Bud Light. They taste like, I don't know, pickles, pig feet juice, regardless. I don't know. Look, if that's what you like to drink, man, more power to you. Go ahead and drink it all day long. But for me, the first beer I ever drank was a Guinness. So I kind of had set off on that dark beer kind of kick, So for me, Bud Light and Coors Light, have them warm, have them cold, have them on tap, have them from a bottle, have them from a can. It tastes like a bum pissed in your beer regardless, so I'm not touching it.
Yeah, no, I agree, but at the same time, I can drink Coors and Bud Light. Will I choose to do it? If I had to? No, no. I'm an IPA guy. I'm a craft beer guy. That sounds totally hipsterish. I was drinking Coors Light earlier tonight at a friend's house, watching the fights and the SC game, because that's what the house drinks. I am one of those friends. I am one of those. Yeah, yeah. Be happy. SC look good. SC look good. But I am one of those friends that if the house is drinking a certain type of beer, I'm going to bring for the house. I don't just show up with my own beer and drink it. I bring for the house, an 18-pack at least. That's what I do. So
yeah, I'd about a 12-pack for them and a 6-pack of man beer for me. So the boys in high school could drink Coors Light and Natty Ice and Pabst Blue. Pabst Blue Ribbon is pretty good.
PBR is gross. Natty Ice is gross. I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to what we were talking about before, man. We were talking so much, we might as well make this like Beer to the Max. Honestly, if we did an episode of Beer to the Max, we can talk for like a good 2-3 hours. We should do an episode one day.
We have more time, so let's just go ahead and do a Beer to the Max show as well, all right?
Yeah, no kidding. We could do it. We could actually have some time in between shows after next week. We could probably do it. No, actually, we have after 2 weeks. Sorry, because we have a Rockhold versus Branch, and then Shogun versus Owen St. Preux. Number 2.
Yeah, before we get into those, though, but man, those.
But we will get back to. Okay, yeah, let's get into tonight. So, like I was saying before we got into our beer of the week, where were you when you found out that Johnson versus Borg was not happening?
Well, usually in the morning, I get up, get dressed, wash my face, all that stuff, head downstairs, and have a bowl of cereal before I exit the house in the morning. And I was scrolling through my Facebook, and I saw a Luke Thomas post that said, "The best laid plans of mice and men." Didn't think much about it, clicked on it, started to read, and literally cried in my Cheerios. Like, I was eating Cheerios, and I was like, there's no way this fight's canceled. There's no way this fight is off. There's no way this fight is off.
And it was almost like I hate to say this because I was on Demetrius Johnson's side the entire time. So I really hate to say this, but it was almost like a karma. Stuff? Yeah, it was almost like a karma situation. It really was.
Well, again, one of DJ's things was TJ has never made weight, so I'm going to go ahead and fight Borg, who's missed it twice.
But he has made the weight he's made the weight before, so you can see it. But yeah, now so let's preface this real quick. We're not saying this is the reason why Borg pulled out. He was ill. It's happened to people before. If you're sick and you had to pull out, the doctors pulled him.
He had to pull out. Yeah.
And as of recording this, there is no word that is weight related. It was just illness. Could it be weight cut related? Absolutely. We are not going to put that past him. But that's not why the doctors pulled him for the fight. So
as of now, I'm not going to criticize him for that yet.
Absolutely. So you know what? Best of luck, Ray Borg. Best wishes. Hope you get well. It sucks that we have to wait at least another month for Mighty Mouse to defend his title, because there is rumors and innuendo that they might just put Mighty Mouse and Borg again for UFC 216 in Las Vegas as the co-main event over Tony El Kukui Ferguson and Kevin Motown Phenom Lee.
Oh, those fights give me chills too, man. It's such a good next couple months of fights coming up that are on the books.
There are some good cards coming up. Oh my God, I can't wait to start previewing some of these shows. So, Joe, why did you ask me where I was when I found out about Johnson and Borg?
Yeah, I was trying to get to that because you had a fun Thursday. My understanding it was an easy, relaxing, nothing big, no changes in your life.
So, yeah. Anyway, so Wednesday I quit my job. This soul-sucking job I've been with for 14 years. I had a DUI for the last 10 years on my record by my own fault, obviously. To everybody out there, do not drink and drive. Always get a designated driver. Please Uber, do that. Or an Uber, anything. Nowadays. Please, I beg of you, it's not worth it financially or physically. It is not worth it. If you drink and drive and you get in an accident in somebody's life, which is not what I do, but I did. But if you do it, please, you don't want to go through that.
Yeah, the financial burden is there. The financial burden is the least of the worries, man.
Yeah,
you could kill somebody,
but it is a hell of a burden. Please do not drink and drive. We drink on this show, but we have designated drivers. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Or you'd be like me and you drink on your own couch.
That's right. But Yeah, so I had no work for the rest of the week, for all week, because I quit my job, and I was so happy about it. I ended up going to a friend's house for Thursday Night Football opening game for NFL
Wah,
with
wah,
at
wah,
at
wah.
Gillette Stadium, New England Patriots versus my Kansas City Chiefs.
Your
And
Chiefs? You're the owner?
you know what they say about the fans, man. They are the 12th man, and yeah, it was after the second half. It was a fucking ass beating by the Chiefs. Tom Brady looked mortal, and it was the best night that was hampered by the fact that after the game, I was on the phone with one of my friends talking about it, and during the phone call, I got the news about Demetrius Johnson and Ray Borg being off, and that was completely disappointing. It didn't ruin my night, for sure, that's for sure, but it was kind of deflating, which is pretty apropos because we played the Patriots.
Oh, you.
You like that? You like that,
was,
did you?
that
You
was
like
cute.
that?
You've been thinking about that for 2 days, haven't
I think
you?
I had been setting that up for 2 days. I was waiting for the show.
Look, man, it was good. You know, if I didn't know you better, then I would have thought, wow, that was pretty clever. But well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you. I really just thought of it off the top of my head, but yeah, no, yeah. But
No.
yeah, it was very disappointing because this is a very pro Demetrius Johnson podcast, even though we are a pro TJ Dillashaw podcast. When it came to the potential fight of Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson and TJ Dillashaw, I think we were both split on who would win. And
Yeah, that would, and it would be one of those where it's like you don't want to see your friends fight. Obviously, I'm not friends with either of those two gentlemen, but TJ would be by far my favorite fighter to watch, and then DJ.
But if you're a betting man, if
I'm a betting man, I have to go off the fact that TJ is technically the bigger man, and skill set wise, it's close. Stylistically, it's tough for both of them, but I'd have to take TJ. I would have to. Maybe it's
I
a
think
bias.
you just I think you just lost Chase as Team Joe. So no, okay, so I love TJ. We both love TJ. I think TJ is amazing. I just think Demetrius Johnson is the best in the world. I know we did that podcast a couple weeks ago where we talked about John Jones being the best in the world. Unfortunately, when you do drugs, you're not the best in the world.
No, it's cheating, man. And if the argument is, well, everyone's doing it, I just got caught. Well, you're a bad cheater then. I don't know what to tell you. It's disappointing, dude. It's super. I mean, we can get into it. You know, he failed the post weigh-in urine test, and then he passed the post-fight blood test. Well, they don't test for T-ball in blood. It's only a urine. It's an oral steroid that only shows up in your urine, not in your blood, because the half-life in your blood is nothing. I think it's like 18 hours in the urine. Whether it makes sense or not that he passed a bunch of tests before and then failed this one, I don't get it. But he looked like a different fighter against OSP.
And honestly, it makes me very disappointed that people like to hang up on that entire, oh, well, he passed the blood test. Well, we got to wait on his B sample. You know, I get it, due process. But when you're trying to hang up on the fact that, oh, well, he passed a blood test for a drug that's only tested in urine, it's sad. It's pathetic. I'm sorry. I know you're big John Jones fans, and I wanted to believe, too, that he was back and he changed his ways. But when you get flagged by USADA and you test positive for a drug that is completely 100% legal and blackballed, you have to find it on the black market. Like, I'm sorry, the chance of it being of a supplement being tainted by Turnbull is like 100 to 1. I'm sorry, but the fact that people want to hang on that because they just want so much, either A, so much for Jones to make this big comeback, or B, they hate Cormier so much. It's kind of sad. Honestly, it's kind of sad. In my mind, Daniel Cormier might just be the best light heavyweight fighter of all time because he has not popped. John Jones has popped twice, and both times involved Daniel Cormier. Once before he was supposed to fight, once after a fight. There's a very, very good, and I'm going to say at this point, 99% chance that John Jones has been on something his entire career. Fool me once, shame on me, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. and he's fooled me twice. Daniel Cormier, in my mind, is the best 205-pound fighter in the world right now because he's the one that's done it clean.
Well, look, there's an argument that Daniel Cormier is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He's undefeated as a heavyweight. He's beat guys like, my brain's freezing. Anyway, he's beaten great heavyweights.
Frank Mir, Roy Nelson, Josh Barnett, Antonio Silva.
Heavyweights, right?
Heavyweight. Then you got Dan Henderson. Even though it was at 205, it doesn't matter. Dan Henderson was
like
205 title challenger.
Yeah,
but you got Dan Henderson. You got Alexander Gustafsson. You got Anthony Johnson twice. There is a very strong argument for Daniel Cormier being one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the entire world, if not the best.
Because the only guy he loses to is a known cheater.
Exactly. And I am a big Mighty Mouse fan. I think Mighty Mouse is the GOAT, pound-for-pound best. There is a strong argument, a big, strong argument. I know Ariel Helwani's been actually saying this for a long time. There is a strong argument, absolutely like what you said, that Daniel Cormier is pound for pound the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, I think he is. And he's a great guy, and that's part of the problem is he doesn't have that big mouthpiece. But he is one of the best fighters to ever grace the MMA mat.
And he is a great guy, and I agree. And I see people say online when they talk, they hear him talk. I don't know if anybody heard him talk at the pay-per-view tonight, but he was great.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
Awesome.
But a lot of people try to say he sounds fake. No, it's not because he's fake. It's because he's a dork. And honestly, I say that with the utmost respect.
Well, you're
in 2017. I'm a complete dork. I'm a complete dork. I play video games. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I watch MMA, though, and I analyze MMA. And I watch football. I analyze football, NFL. But he's a dork, and he watches pro wrestling, which I do as well. He's a dork. He's a fanboy of everything he does. He's a fanboy of MMA, even though he competes. He's a fanboy of pro wrestling, WWE. He's a dork, and I think that's what gets people about him. That's what rubs people the wrong way. Because MMA was always an alpha male sport, but Daniel Cormier is an alpha male with beta male type personality.
Yeah, he's definitely super alpha, but yeah, he has the same interest as a beta or a non-alpha would have, but that's fine. I mean, Josh Barnett does to a degree too.
Josh Barnett does the same thing. Pro wrestling, big on D&D, video games. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he was never a big fan favorite either. So I get it. But yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's one of the reasons, besides Demetrius Johnson's size, that people have a lot of problem with him, because he's a dork. He's a nerd. He has a Twitch stream. He plays video games all the time. He's pimping out his Twitch and his video games and all that. He's breaking stereotypes that were never around 10 years ago.
He doesn't have a foil. Everybody at 25 is a nice person. Nice guy versus nice guy. Well, he's the nice guy. That gets to be his position because he's the fucking king in the hill.
Yeah.
So everybody else, learn to be a mouthpiece. Make it, Don Johnson. John Dodson. He did a really good job of being a foil, but he fought him twice and lost twice. And after that last time he lost, he's like, fuck this, dude. I can't beat this guy, so I'm going to go to 35 and test myself there. But he was the only guy that was a mouthpiece that would make it even an exciting build-up. Everyone else is like so respectful. Well, that's DJ's thing. He's the king. He gets to be what he wants to be. Be a jerk-off, take the belt from him, and then if you want to be nice, and let everyone else be a dick. He needs that counter to, that opposite of, the yin to the yang, so to speak. So,
that might have been TJ, but at the same time, TJ's even though TJ Dillashaw tries to come off as, that shit talker on Twitter and on Instagram and all that, he's a nice guy.
He's a really nice guy, yeah.
And the reason why people want to see him fight is because of Cody, because they think he's a snake, and so. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with that. I agree with what TJ did. Do what you got to do for your own career. But people are trying to say that he should have fought TJ because it's a money fight. No, it's not. Like DJ Demetrius Johnson did a Facebook live interview, live chat the other day leading up to this fight, and people were asking him like, "Why'd you turn down the money fight with TJ?" And he straight up asked the people on Facebook on that video, because he doesn't give a fuck. He's not afraid.
Yeah.
Like, who says it's a money fight? Seriously, Show me how it's a money fight, because it wasn't. It wasn't a money fight. It was a super fight, but it wasn't a money fight. It really wasn't. So
Well, again, the smaller weight classes don't have the same draw.
yeah.
Even though TJ is a 35 and he's a former champion and he's a big draw and it's a big deal in the hardcore fan base for sure, but they're just I don't get it. I mean, whatever, we can talk about it forever and ever why it isn't, but he's not a big draw at 35 with TJ and at 25 with DJ.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Conor McGregor is going to get a million pay-per-views if he fought a broomstick. It doesn't matter.
He's
like
not Ric Flair.
Nate Diaz, yeah. Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor is going to do over a million pay-per-view buys. Again, not because of Nate Diaz, and I hate saying that because I love Nate and I want that guy to get paid.
Well, see, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz is going to do 2 million buys, at least for part 3, honestly. But any Conor McGregor fight leading up to that, or besides that, will do at least a million buys because of Conor.
Yeah, it can be announced that he's going to show up and do a press conference at the end of the pay-per-view, and you can only watch it on the pay-per-view. That's going to boost your ratings by double. And again,
it's been proven because he's done speaking roles before, where he just sits there and talks to people and is interviewed, and he's charged money for it, and people paid. He's doing another one of those like later this year.
Yeah, exactly. But we've been digressing. We haven't even gotten into this card so much.
Well, we've had a nice discussion. Let's get into this card then, man. The main event: Amanda Nunes, the Lioness, defending her women's bantamweight championship against Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. She wins by split decision of 2 48-47 scores versus 1 47-48 score. I highly disagreed with it. I thought Shevchenko clearly won 2, 3, and 4. And 5, which is the one that could have possibly been in contention because Amanda Nunes did take her down. Amanda
did won
nothing. 5. Nothing, though. Shevchenko was striking from the bottom. Yeah, but so throw back to all the other episodes. Edmonton, the Athletic Commission, adopted the ABC rules of mixed martial arts, the new rules. So in my mind, that should have been around for Shevchenko because Amanda did take her down, but she did nothing.
I understand she did nothing, but she maintained top control, and she took her down twice. She got her down the first time. They wrestled around a little bit. They fought for position. Shevchenko was trying to, work a sweep, get out, use butterflies. Finally gets up, and she gets taken back down shortly thereafter, and she gets... There wasn't a lot of submission attempts. There wasn't any ground and pound, but she wasn't able to get up.
She was throwing a lot of shots and elbows, though. So, I mean, and Amanda Nunes was just sitting there. She was just laying there.
Yeah, again, it's a tough call for me because, to me, in my mind, look, if you can't get off your back, I kept you there. I controlled you. I get it.
True, but if you're laying there and taking shots, that's a lot different because of the fact, was she really controlling her? Sure, she was on top of her, and she had her on her back, but is the reason that she wasn't able to advance position or throw any shots because Shevchenko was throwing shots at her? She had to worry about protecting herself?
It's the counter-striker's dilemma, I don't look as active, but my punches, I threw 100 punches and 87 of them landed.
Yeah, which is true, but that's what the
50% landed, and so they landed more punches and they win the fight.
Yeah, but that's what the new unified rules of mixed martial arts are supposed to take care of. The new rules was supposed to take care of shit like that. I'm sorry, I just can't. I thought Shevchenko was outstriking Nunes until the takedowns in the 5th round. I agree. I personally, I agree. And then on the ground, Nunes did jack and shit. Shevchenko was landing on her, which in my mind, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going here, which in my mind is controlling the fight. Even though she's on her back, she's controlling the fight. Nunes couldn't do anything because she was getting hit and struck, which is the same thing that happened with Anthony Pettis and Clay Guida when Pettis made his UFC debut from WC. That if these same rules were in effect back then, Pettis was controlling Guida from his back by throwing submissions, which obviously Shevchenko didn't do, but by strikes and everything. Guida was on top but wasn't doing anything but defending. That's what Nunes did tonight. In the 5th round, she did nothing but defend when she was on top of her. That's my problem. That's my problem.
Yeah, she rested. Look, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here because I scored it for Valentina as well.
Yeah, okay.
And so I'm just trying to pick the other side, and I'm thinking maybe I'm being biased.
I'm glad you are, because I mean, when we agree with each other, it's just not as good of a show.
Yeah, but so that's why I'm trying to analyze, like, how do they see it. So I understand the new the new rules, and I'm looking at it like it was a close fight.
Unified, that's
and,
right.
and to me, you give the 5th round to Nunes.
Okay, even if you give the 5th round to Nunes, absolutely.
You give the first round to Nunes, and the questionable round is the 2nd round,
which I thought was clearly Shevchenko's.
Again, the 4th round is more clearly, the 3rd round is more clear. The 2nd round is the only one that's iffy, and if I'm looking at it this way, I lean towards Shevchenko. So to me, I give her rounds 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's totally fair.
But so if one of the judges, I'd have to see the actual scorecards, gave the 2nd round, or 2 of the judges gave the 2nd round to Nunes, which is close, then I can get it. But for me, I gave it to Shevchenko. Again, maybe the way she fights, her style.
Personally, I thought 2, 3, and 4 were completely, clearly, 100% Shevchenko's round, and I gave the 5th Shevchenko. I thought 49-46 Shevchenko, and I was confident leading into that decision. When Bruce Buffer announced 48-47 Shevchenko, I was like, that's fair. Okay, whatever. 48-47, that's fine.
Well, you knew when he said Shevchenko, it was going to be a split.
Yeah, no, I knew it was going to be a split. As soon as he said 48-47, I was like, it's going to be a split. I knew that. I was telling some of the people I was watching the fight with. But there was no doubt in my mind that at least one of those judges was going to give it to Shevchenko 49-46. I could not believe that it was 48-47 all the way across. I mean, but I can't believe that 2 judges gave it 48-47 to Nunes. I vehemently disagree with that decision. And it's not the biggest robbery in the world. It really is not. Even though the crowd was booing, and I think that has more to do with everybody's hate of Nunes because of her pulling out back at 213.
Yeah.
This was a good fight. It was a close fight. It wasn't exciting because it wasn't as action-packed as their first fight. Nunes did not want to even try to clinch and take her down and wear herself out. She was trying to conserve her energy. Very smart on her part. By the way, Nunes, her cardio, very, very impressed.
Really impressive.
Very impressive.
Really, really impressive.
Fantastic. I didn't think you won the fight, but the cardio was fucking amazing compared to all your previous fight. Whatever, she's training with American Top Team. Congratulations. You guys are doing wonders. That was great.
Okay, I'm looking at the scorecards right now. I'm going to start with Sal D'Amato. Okay, he scored it for Amanda Nunes.
Well, that explains everything.
he gave her 10, 3, and 5. David,
you mean 1, 3, and 5?
Sorry, I'm reading the number 10. You're right.
See, how do you give her 3? How the hell do you give her 3?
Okay, hold on. This gets even better. David Theron, he kind of more agrees to what I said. So he gives Nunes 1, 2, and 5. So
that's more acceptable than 3.
See, I thought 2 was close. Okay, ready?
Yeah, it's more acceptable.
So here you go. So across the board now. So now we go to Tony Weeks. He gave Nunes 1 and 4. So across the board, Nunes won round 1.
Dude, what is going on with this judging?
He didn't give Nunes 10. Or sorry, he didn't give Nunes 5. But across the board, they all agree that Nunes won round 1.
After the first round, the only round you can arguably give to Nunes is 5. In my mind. I'm sorry.
That's the only one. You can't give Nunes 4.
You can't give her 4.
5.
You can't give her 3. That is disrespectful.
So
Shevchenko.
What fight was Tony watching? What fight was he watching?
Sal D'Amato watching, where he gave Nunes round 3.
Round 3, yeah.
That was the most clear round for Shevchenko.
2 and 4 were kind of closest-esque for Shevchenko, but I think she won round 2 or 3 and 4 for sure. Dude. Round 3 was like her strongest round.
Honestly, if the judges scored the fight for Nunes 48-47, which they did, obviously 2-1, but it was uniform on the rounds, I'd have a little less of a problem than I do. But this is getting ridiculous. Ridiculous.
D'Amato gave Nunes the 3rd round.
That's ridiculous.
Shevchenko's strongest round.
What the hell was that, dude? Did that guy go from popcorn and come to like Nunes landing a one strike. That giving her round 3 is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Sal D'Amato, he's one of those judges that have been under fire for the longest time.
He's one of those old school judges.
He's one of those Cecil Peoples type judges.
Yeah, Cecil
He's not
Peoples.
as bad, which, by the way, I'm glad I haven't seen Cecil Peoples judging a fight in a long time. But
you remember seeing Cecil Peoples being a referee inside the freaking cage?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. It was horrible.
I was like, what are you doing in there, dude? I'd rather have Mills Lane.
Oh, my God.
And I think he's passed away at this point. You know?
Yeah, that's just gross. That score, giving her a third round is gross. If you want to score 1, 2, and 5 for her, I'm going to completely disagree with you, and very firmly on that. But yes, I can understand it.
It'd be an argument where you're like, look, I completely disagree with you. I think you're wrong and wrong, but you have a leg to stand on. But to give Nunes round 3,
yeah, you have no business judging an MMA fight at that point, at all.
It was awful. But yeah, I think I have nothing against Nunes. I think she's a great fighter, a great champion. She represents the sport well. You know, I know MMA to the Max episode 1 was supposed to be this fight, and Amanda Nunes pulled out because she had some sinus issues. Well, I, Riverside Joe, am suffering from a sinus infection, and I didn't pull out tonight. I'm here.
Well, your wife's on birth control, right?
No?
You're fixed.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Either way. Hey, you don't have to worry about pulling out.
No, sir,
speaking of people pulling out, let's move on to Rafael dos Anjos, who pulled out of that big money fight with Conor McGregor way back when he was the 155-pound champion. No longer, obviously.
Yeah.
Taking his second fight at welterweight, which I think has a lot to do with USADA and the IV ban.
Yeah.
Ranked number 10 at the welterweight division of the UFC, taking on Neil Magny, who was ranked at a way higher than he should be in my mind, 6. I think that was just because of the lack of options.
Lack of depth.
Yeah. Dos Anjos ran through him.
How did you see it going down before it happened?
Okay, I said it last week, I thought that the 7-inch height and 10-inch reach advantage for Magny would have caused Dos Anjos some problems. And it could have. We never know, because Dos Anjos landed a leg kick which tripped Magny up, and then Dos Anjos jumped on top of him, and from there it was all but over.
Yeah, I thought Magny's guard game was better. I know Dos Anjos is real heavy on top. He's got great ground control, and he did a phenomenal job of negating anything Magny was throwing at him as far as trying to get his legs up and have a high guard and move around, or a loose guard to try to get butterflies and escape. Rafael, sorry. It's
get your Brazilian speak down, bro.
God damn it, Portuguese. Rafael.
Yeah, Portuguese. Yeah,
Rafael did his top game wrestling is some of the best, even at 70. I mean, I consider his top game up there with who else has got a great top game?
Pound for pound, his top game is one of the best. Yeah, you're right. His top game, Cormier's, his top game is one of the best in the entire world. Pound for pound.
And to see him take that top game to slip over into half guard, then into side control, and just wrench down on that arm bar, or that
dude, did you
head and arm triangle?
Did you see him latch that on? Oh man, as soon as he didn't even hesitate. As soon as it was presented to him, it was on.
No,
it snapped.
It was in, and then he even hooked his left foot around Magny's left foot to prevent Magny from rolling or turning or anything.
He knew what he was doing. That's a high level black belt. That's high level black belt.
That was like pretty stuff that gave me some chills, man. I was like, "Ooh, damn, that's some good jiu-jitsu."
It was grossly impressive.
Yeah.
I thought Magny would have used his reach and height and reach, his significant height and reach a little better to at least win a decision. I didn't think he'd finish Rafael dos Anjos, but
Magny's got a good
we
jab.
don't know what would have happened if he didn't get tripped up with that leg kick.
Yeah,
but because that leg kick,
jab.
And at the same time though, Dos Anjos' leg kicks are nasty.
Oh yeah,
they've always been that. Remember what he did to Nate Diaz, which is just
I was
gross.
Say, dude, that whooping he put on Nate Diaz is what gave him a title shot.
Yeah,
and it was all about those freaking leg kicks, dude. He'd shoot them apart with those.
Absolutely. And speaking of people that might get a title shot, Especially because I think that Ray Borg might just have to just step back for a little bit. But if he can make a quick turnaround, and I know it's a very quick turnaround, but I would love to see him get another chance. Henry Cejudo ran through Wilson Hayes. Ran through him. It wasn't even close in my mind. It wasn't even close. I scored that first round 10-8.
Oh, yeah. He beat the crap out of him, dude.
He beat the fuck out of him.
His boxing looks so fucking good.
That is Golden Gloves boxing right there, man. That everybody knows that he's a gold medalist in the Olympics for wrestling, but he's also a Golden Gloves boxer, Golden Gloves champion. That is gold, dude. He looked phenomenal standing up. That is the best I've ever seen Henry Cejudo look in his MMA career by far.
Yeah, he took his hands ability of his boxing, and he added some karate type footwork to it. His stances was changing it up a little bit, and his timing. Dude, he looked fucking phenomenal. His hands were clean.
His hands were clean. By the way, I believe he becomes the second person to finish Wilson Hayes, but the first person to finish him by TKO or knockout.
Yeah,
because Demetrius is the first to finish him by submission. But Cejudo, holy crap, the way he looked tonight. Jesus, I want to see that Mighty Mouse rematch. I think he was a little overwhelmed that first time. Now, will I bet on him in Mighty Mouse? No, not a chance. Not a chance. I won't bet against Mighty Mouse so he loses. But this Cejudo that fought Wilson Hayes tonight was phenomenal.
He looked so good, man. I was just so impressed. Again, we know his wrestling pedigree. We know his takedown defense. We know his takedown ability. His clinch work against DJ was kind of, found wanting, but his distance management, the way he was using his footwork and keeping the angles, and the way he was throwing boxer style punches from a karate stance and digging the body too, and coming over the top and then tagging him with that perfect straight right that just put Wilson down, dude.
His strike, he almost looked like Conor McGregor in there. I know I'm the Conor McGregor hater on this podcast. I know I'm the McGregor hater, and I do hate him, but I respect his skills and I respect his elite striking. But I gotta give credit where credit's due. He's like I said, he's an elite striker, and I think Cejudo looked a lot like Conor McGregor tonight with his striking.
I could see the similarities. I think Conor McGregor fights longer than his actual size is, and Cejudo fought tighter, like a regular boxer does, more foam with more toe to toe. But he had that karate stance, which gave him a little more distance in that toe to toe. But yeah, man, he fucking looked good, dude. He looked
great.
He looked impressive. Like
that has a lot to do with who
he's. That
has a lot to do with who he's training with for this fight. He made mention that he trained with Lyoto Machida, and the very underrated and UFC caliber Pitbull brothers, Patricio and Patricky. Both should definitely be in the UFC, especially Patricio, Bellator 145 featherweight champion. But you can definitely tell that style was ridiculous. He looked great. This is the best Cejudo's ever looked in his entire career.
Yeah, and it makes me really looking forward to his next fight. Get another debut under him like that, and then I think he gets another shot at the belt. Yeah,
personally, I think he probably should have got a shot at the belt after this fight, regardless, because his last fight was the Joseph Benavidez fight, which I thought he won. But
I did. I think I scored that for Benavidez. It was close.
It was close. I thought Cejudo won. It wasn't a robbery, but I thought it was wrong.
DJ beats him again. Okay, now he's got 2 losses to DJ. And then what do you do with him? He gets in Joseph Benavidez territory. You can't keep piling these guys up. You've got to build up some real contenders, some guys with a lot of steam. And I think you build Cejudo up, give him all that steam, let him get all that momentum and power. And if I'm the UFC, you slow roll DJ, let him go up to 35, and just let Cejudo become like the man at 25.
Yeah, I'd say at this point I think you might as well just do a fight that was originally booked, which was Henry Cejudo versus Sergio Pettis, and the winner gets Mighty Mouse after he defeats whoever he's going to defeat, whether it's Borg, whether it's TJ, whether it's the winner of TJ and Cody, whether it's Cody by himself, whatever, and gets his 11th title defense. Then you do Mighty Mouse versus the winner of Cejudo and Sergio Pettis. If not, just wait till December 30th and the final card of the year, and just maybe throw Mighty Mouse and Cejudo on there. Who knows?
Could be good either way, man. I'm looking forward to seeing where Cejudo goes next.
But I will say though that I am looking forward to Henry Cejudo's fight a lot more now after seeing this fight tonight.
Yes.
His next fight, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So here's a guy I'm not really this. I mean, it was a good fight, but I think both guys might have just hit their ceiling, especially with the winner. I think his ceiling's still kind of tapped. Ilir Latifi defeats Tyson Pedro by unanimous decision. I had Pedro going into this fight. I thought he would be able to take the win. I am not all that impressed with Ilir Latifi. I know he's a little stocky little bull when it comes to fighting, but I think he took advantage of a guy who's a prospect who was very unprepared and very inexperienced. But either way, it was a great victory for Ilir Latifi. Takes a unanimous decision. I had it scored 29-28. Two of the judges had it 29-28. One had 30-27, which I was not upset about because Latifi could have taken all 3 rounds.
Yeah, I had 30-27 for Latifi. He just put Pedro on his back and grinded him out, worked in some ground and pound, did some passes, did some, a little bit of work on top. And I personally thought that he was going to get on top of Pedro in the first round and ground and pound him out. I really thought Latifi was going to. You said he hit his ceiling. I thought he had some more room to grow, but maybe he doesn't. But it wasn't the greatest fight, but it was an impressive win. It was a dominant win, nonetheless, to me.
Yeah, no, it was a good, impressive, dominant win. I thought Pedro was like a good prospect at 205. I still think he could be. I just think it might have been a little too much too soon, I guess, as they say. I think Latifi's really way too highly ranked at number 10 in the light heavyweight division, but that speaks a lot of the light heavyweight division more than it does of his ranking.
Yeah, I would agree.
But how about we go to the opening fight?
Ooh,
Ugh,
ouch.
Joe, what was this?
Ow.
Hey, man, what we talked about this before the show, but Jeremy Stevens versus Gilbert Melendez was sponsored to you by
pain, agony, fractures.
Yeah, right. Stevens versus Melendez was brought to you by Shin Guards. Jesus Christ.
Shin guards. Yeah, Muay Thai shin guard for everybody. Dude.
That was gross.
Gilbert is a tough motherfucker, man. Oh, I guarantee you he didn't, break it all the way through like Anderson Silva did, but I guarantee you there are hairline fractures up and down his shin. Dude, he had like a whole nother calf on the side of his shin just under his knee.
Yeah, apparently we know where he lost all that weight. Jesus, he sucked it out of his legs.
Oh my! God.
Oh my God, he had bones going on this leg. That was nasty. So I know. Last week we were previewing it. I said on the show, Jeremy Stevens takes it. He's more acclimated.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I said he takes it. We can go back and listen. He's more acclimated to the 145 division, and I think that's why. Later on in the week, I ended up changing to Melendez because I thought Melendez looked good for his weight cut. Should have kept it. 100%. Stevens looked fantastic. I scored at 30-26.
Yeah, I thought.
No, I'm sorry.
So.
No, I'm sorry. I scored at 30-25. I thought the first round was 10-8 as well.
Yeah, I 30-26 for me.
I had the first round as a 10-8, and I had the third round as a 10-8 because they were both dominant. He almost finished them both times.
Yeah, I didn't put the third round in. The first round I did. And yeah, it was great, man. It was like, look, dude, Stevens is a phenomenal fighter. Who the fuck is that guy? That's the guy that breaks your legs with leg kicks. That's who the fuck he is, okay?
Who the fuck is that? Yeah. Oh, my God. As much as I dislike Conor, that was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But he'll always be remembered as that guy. And
every time Stevens wins, he needs to say, I'm that fucking guy.
Dude, he makes so many fans. Seriously.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do.
And even the Irish fans will respect him for that.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
I'm
okay,
the
that's funny.
fucking
Okay,
guy.
hey, you're owning it. That's cool. We respect that.
Exactly. That's how you have to do it.
That's how you
I'm
do
the
it.
fucking guy.
So Melendez lost a leg. Might as well at this point put him up against what's his name? I am drawing a blank. That's what happens when you drink.
Yeah, it is what happens when you drink, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is what happens when you drink. But no, Jeremy Stevens looked great. His striking looked great. His leg kicks obviously looked amazing.
So are you thinking that we should put
Melendez against. I'm thinking we should put Melendez against Nick Newell.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I just remember the name right now.
The one-armed guy.
The one-legged guy versus the one-armed guy. I'm sorry.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
No, Nick
sometimes
Newhall,
I have a brain
great.
fart when recording, but eventually it comes to me.
Yeah.
So.
Nick Newhall, man, he did well, dude, for a fighter, let alone a fighter with one arm. I mean,
I respect the shit out of him.
Hell yeah.
I respect the hell out of him because honestly, his only loss is Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, exactly. And we all lose to Justin Gaethje because he's a zombie.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he's like, what, 18-0 now? So
Yep.
everybody loses.
I picked against him against Johnson. I thought strength of schedule, Johnson would be able to handle it, but you can't. You can't handle it. You just
God, I wish we would have started our show when we were recording when that fight happened, but we were a day late and $1 short, as they say.
Sure were.
Yeah, so moving on, man. Hey, Jeremy Stevens was an awesome win. I want to talk about a couple of upsets. I'm sorry, not a couple of upsets. The entire prelims on Fox Sports 1 were upsets.
I don't want to talk about it too much,
when it comes
dude,
to Vegas, man, they were
hurt.
upsets. They were upsets. Big
My
time.
feelings are hurt, dude, and I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it.
There's two fighters that really I was really rooting for, and one fighter that I was almost 100% positive she was going to win, and the one that I was 100% positive she was going to win was Sarah McMahon, and she was choked out with an arm triangle in the second round.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you watch that fight, the first round, Sarah McMahon had top position, trying to work her ground and pound, trying to work a pass and work on Caitlin Vieira. But Caitlin Vieira just stayed composed. She had good jiu-jitsu. She was bringing her legs up high. She was really working to try to get the submission or not necessarily even sweeps, but submission over position kind of thing when she was on the bottom, which kind of makes sense, because you're already in a bad position. But she was working it, and she survived the first round against Sarah. It was Sarah's round. But in the second round, they stayed on their feet. They fought a little bit on the outside and punching, and Sarah McMahon's got good hands, and she was trying to throw them. Caitlin got in close, got like a little trip, took her down, and just from up top, her jiu-jitsu, which was, if you watch the first round, she was shown to have the better jiu-jitsu, and so once she was in top position, it was kind of obvious she made easy work of McMahon and got that arm triangle.
Well, which was amazing because she got that arm triangle on the wrong side.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part.
Yeah,
like that's not. Everybody's like, oh yeah, it's no, it's not. You do not do that. That's not. That is rare. So
no.
It was a great finish on the wrong side. She lifted her toes to get the pressure, and that's how she did it. It was amazing. It was great.
Yeah, her jiu-jitsu is some of the best in the 35-pound division. So hats off to you.
I'm tempted to say it might be the best. I mean, maybe Klaja Gadeja might have her, but I mean, she's putting in work, dude. She's making a name when it comes to the ground game. But I don't.
Yeah.
Outside of Klaja Gadeja, I don't see anybody else having a better jiu-jitsu game, which is crazy because Sarah McMahon, leading up to this fight, she had 2 straight arm triangle choke submissions go her way, and then she lost by arm triangle choke. So
isn't Klaja a 115er?
Oh yeah, you're right, man. What am I talking about? This is 135.
Yeah. Caitlin's 135. Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Hey, this is what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of 35. I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. I think
than Caitlin right now.
I retract that statement. That is a brain fart on my part. Wow.
Again, Klaja's jiu-jitsu is fucking top notch for sure, but she's a 15er.
Where is the edit button? We can't make me sound stupid.
No. That's my job. That's Riverside Joe's job.
No, we will keep that. That is my bad. I can't wait till I get some comments from people like, huh, "You said Klaja 135, you dummy," without even listening to where I said, "Oh shit, my bad. I got a brain fart."
So you're telling me that there's people in this world who take snippets of conversations and act as though that's the entire conversation?
Well, yeah,
never.
That's politics in the USA. So
yeah, no shit.
Yeah, but moving back on with the women's bantamweight division, the fight I was very upset about. One of the fights, SoCal's own Ashley Evans Smith. Love that woman. She's amazing. She's cool. She's so fun, so cool to talk to, and everything. her fight IQ just did not look great tonight, and she was tapped out by Sarah Moraes in the first round with an armbar. The woman who needed a GoFundMe for her fight camp.
Hey,
yeah, it worked.
That fight camp, dude.
Hey,
you feel like you did
money
something.
Well spent.
But,
That's right. Oh man, that was horrible. You know what? Evan Smith is better than this. This woman beat Fallon Fox, the transgender fighter, the man who became a woman. More power to her. More power to her. So she's fought. She's a woman. She's fought tougher people.
She's fought a dude.
Yeah, she's fought a dude for the most part. Come on.
And TKO'd him.
And Evan Smith she had side control. But
yeah, man, it was, again, you talk about great jiu-jitsu at 35. Let's see these two gals go for it, huh?
Yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly. Yeah, I think Kellen Vieira deserves somebody higher than Moraes. I know Moraes has obviously submitted the number 15 ranked Ashley Evan Smith. I don't think she jumps in the top 10 like Ketlin Vieira is going to be. Yeah. I think that win by Vieira puts her at least number 6, number 5. But Jesus, man, what a disappointing loss for SoCal. It's almost as bad as when Dwayne Larkin lost to Douglas Lima.
Yeah, that one was tough, but it was at least a good fight, and Lorenz had his hands in the first round. This wasn't even a good fight. I mean, Evan Smith just looked... I don't know. She's better than this. I know she's better than this. She just got all excited about top position, man, and
I think so.
She just gave up too much position. She was trying to go for ground and pound. Wasn't thinking that Sarah had any kind of submission on her or something, man. She just locked up that arm bar. She had it in tight. They were rolling and fighting, and Ashley Evan Smith was trying to keep her back to the cage, and Sarah moved her back to the middle of the octagon so she couldn't use the cage, to prevent her from getting stretched out. And as soon as she did that, Sarah just arched her back, yanked it up, dude. And Ashley's got a hurt elbow tomorrow. I'll tell you that right now. She's gonna have trouble cooking breakfast or whatever she's got to do in the morning with those arms, dude. It ain't gonna work.
No. Well, let's get to the last fight of this card we're going to talk about. The other fights were good.
Fun.
Yeah, they were fun fights. The entire card was actually pretty fun in my mind. I enjoyed it. But this is one of the bigger fights on the card because Gavin Tucker was 9-0. He made his UFC debut, and they were talking about him as the next Conor McGregor, the next big thing at 145, right? 9-0. They debuts against Sam Sicilia and outclasses Sicilia for unanimous decision. Probably could have finished Sicilia if he wanted to, if he was more worried about finishing him instead of showboating and gloating. His striking, everything looked great. Rick Glenn beat the fuck out of him.
Rick Glenn looks like he just walked out of the methadone clinic, and they told him that they don't have any more methadone.
Rick Glenn,
he's just a wiry little dude, but fuck, he can fight, man.
Rick Glenn, in my mind, earned one of the few 10-7 decisions or 10-7 rounds in MMA history.
Yeah,
the third round was an absolute beating, and I blame Gavin Tucker's corner for not throwing in the towel. Tucker took unnecessary damage in that third round. It was ridiculous. There was no reason for him to take that much damage. That is nasty. That is dirty. And I know you don't want to throw in the towel for your fighter, or you want your fighter to lose, but you got to look out for his safety. Gavin Tucker he had his ass beat in that third round, worse than I've seen people get their ass beat.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. It was a, how do you want to put it? It was a bully beatdown. It was, it just didn't work out, dude.
It was gross. I mean, I'm sorry. If you're a corner, I mean, everybody, we talk about the Diaz's, and everybody talks about the Diaz brothers like, oh, they're just fighters, they're just blah, blah, blah. But they're brothers, and they care about each other. When Nate Diaz was getting his ass beat by Josh Thompson, he got dropped with that head kick, and then just get pounded on him. Nick threw the towel.
Yeah.
To save his brother. Because it's called compassion. The fight was over at that point. The fact that Tucker's corner did not throw the towel in, the fight was over. There was no... If your fighter takes a 10-7 round, that's your fault. That's the corner's fault. No fighter should take a 10-7 round. I'm sorry.
Well,
A
and
10-7
how much
round
damage
is because
is he dealing with now? You know,
exactly. A 10-7 round is because you should have been finished, and either the ref or the corner was too stupid to stop it. And that third round should have been stopped. Rick Glenn should have had that stoppage. That was disgusting.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. It was not fun to watch. Like, you watch Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. Like, that was a nasty, brutal fight where neither of those guys had any head movement and were just taking punch after punch after punch after punch. But they were both coherent for all 5 rounds until Rory wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Tucker wasn't coherent. He was out on his feet, his back, his knees, his shoulder. He was out. He was out.
It was done. The fight was over.
That kind of damage, dude.
The fight was over, and I don't want to hear anybody talk about, oh, well, he wants to go out on his shield. Yeah, I get it, but at that point, you're done. There was no excuse. That was some of the most unnecessary beating I've seen.
And the referee should have stopped the fight too.
The referee absolutely. I don't remember who the ref for that fight was, off the top of my head. I've been drinking all night, but whoever that ref is, was it Herb Dean? Fucking, it can't be Herb Dean and John McCarthy. There's no way. It could have been a. It
wasn't Eve Levine. He's usually pretty good.
And it wasn't And it wasn't
Yamasaki.
Yamasaki. He would have let Glenn die. Or Tucker
yeah, he
die.
would have. Yeah. It would have been no end in sight. No, none of those guys were there tonight. So
yeah. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I want to see who this ref is before we continue. Even though obviously we're sounding totally unprepared. I want to know who this ref is though, because I'm sure referee Kyle Cardinal. So it's a referee that's obviously more known in the Canadian area. He's not one of the better known refs like a Herb Dean, a John McCarthy, Yves Levine. That was just gross, man. I mean, maybe it was his first UFC, because I don't remember him being a ref on any UFC event before, even in Canada.
No.
He was trying to make a statement. I mean, that's just gross. I mean, I remember refs from all over the country, all over the world, like Steve Percival, who I think is one of the better referees in the entire world, from overseas usually. So,
yep.
This was ugly, dude. This was ugly. Gavin Tucker should have been finished in the 3rd round. And as much as I picked him and I was rooting for him, this is ugly. There's no excuse for it. That should not have happened. Not a chance in my head. That should have happened.
No, it should have been stopped, man. That's when someone takes way more damage than they should have. Disappointed in that, and hopefully Tucker's okay and doesn't have serious damage. You know, that injury that he can't function later in life, dude. Like that was wear and tear on a man's brain.
That was a lot. That was a career shortener type fight. That was
a life shortener, dude.
Yeah, that was gross. That was just grossly incompetent. I actually had it 30-24, and I only scored 1 round 10-9. I had the first round 10-8, and I scored round 3 10-7. That's just, Jesus Christ, man. Just finish the fight. Don't let a man take his ass beating like that. I get it. Go out on the shield. Everybody wants to be alpha and be like, let him take his ass beating. No, not in that case. It's over. Sorry.
Yep.
It's over.
But that fight's bumming me out, man. So let's talk about the next card.
Yeah, we'll get on the next card. Let's talk about it. So, anyways, by the way, bonus awards, ladies and gentlemen. Fight of the night: Jeremy Stephens versus Gilbert Melendez. 100% agree. Great fight. Melendez is a trooper, even though he was on a one leg the entire time. The man is a warrior. You gotta respect him. I don't care if he's got a 1-5 record in the UFC. He's a warrior. Performance of the nights went to Javier dos Anjos. Do not agree. Do not disagree. And Henry Cejudo, definitely do not disagree. I might have given a performance of the night over Dos Anjos to Sarah Moraes, or even a Rick Glenn, because that shit should have been stopped in the 3rd round, and Rick Glenn was absolutely dominant.
Yeah, but Rick Glenn didn't put him away, man.
Yeah, but he should have. That's the ref's fault. But I will, concede that it's Dos Anjos. Man looks good. 2-0 at 170.
He looked great. He looked great.
I love Dos Anjos.
No
I love
joke,
some Dos Anjos. I love Rafael Dos Anjos. He's good. I like him. I think this 170 move is going to benefit him greatly.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Very happy with that move for him, and he looked great.
So
So
what do we got
next
next,
week,
man? What do we got? We got the big fight night, the return of the one, the only
David
former,
Branch.
yeah, right, former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold taking on David Branch, formerly World Series fighting middleweight and light heavyweight champion, dual champion. I think he did
Champ.
it. Yeah, champ. Think he did it before Connor, ladies and gentlemen.
But
And
not in the UFC.
yeah, it don't matter because it's not in UFC. He made his UFC return, first time in years since he went, I believe, 0-2, especially including a big slam knockout loss to Gerald Harris. Anyways, makes his UFC return, beats Christoph Jacko, who was a top 10 fighter at the time.
A lackluster performance.
Yeah, a very lackluster performance.
I'm trying to be polite here.
Yeah, very polite. He beats him by decision. It was not a very exciting fight. However, he is definitely in the top 10, and outside of the UFC, and then coming in and beating a top 10 fighter like Jocko, he deserves his accolades as a top 10 fighter in the middleweight division. I think he's been off more than he's could chew in this Rockhold fight. I think Rockhold starches him.
Rockhold fucking stops him in the first round.
Unless Rockhold walks
Branch.
in like he did with Bisping, there's no question.
I hope he's learned his lesson that he can't be that cocky, and he's going to keep his right hand up.
Hey, but did he? We don't know. Man, we hope he did, but
he took a
you
year
can never
off,
tell with this
man.
guy.
He took over a year off, so hopefully.
Yeah, but he trains at AKA,
time,
so he could have been injured and we never knew about it.
Well, they don't injure athletes at AKA very often.
Yeah.
They're always healthy.
Yeah, that's all AKA, man. I think this main event is just a showcase to get Rockhold back on the winning track. I think Rockhold starches him.
I agree.
I'm not going to say starch in my mind. I think the first round looks a little even, and then the second round, Rockhold just unloads and unleashes and starts opening up, finding his range with his kicks and everything, his kicks and his jabs. And I think he just overwhelms Branch, and I'm going to call a late second round stoppage.
No, I'm going to call it a first round, and I think it's going to be a straight up freaking nighty-night sleepy time Branch. He's going to freaking hit the canvas and remember his time at the WSOF. I was a champ. And he's going to wake up and be like, what? When am I fighting Rockhold? I'm just telling you, dude. I like Branch. I loved watching him in WSOF. He's a fun guy. He's an entertaining guy. He's an entertaining fighter, save his last fight. Mm-hmm. But I think when Rockhold doesn't underestimate his opponents, he's probably the best middleweight out there.
I agree, and I'm actually gonna cancel out that probably. I'm gonna say he is the best middleweight in the entire world. When he doesn't underestimate his opponents, and his opponents are just stacked with TRT.
Well, the TRT Vitor is a Greek god, and that doesn't count.
Yeah,
I don't even count that. He's on a therapeutic exemption, and where he's taking 10 times the amount an elephant requires to fucking have testosterone.
I was talking to people earlier about that. Like some of my friends, we were watching the fight earlier about we were talking about TRT and all that. I was like, we all agreed. Like, man, there's no way. Like we were talking about Bisping and Diaz, how they both said that like everybody's on steroids, and for the longest time, everybody's like, "Oh, you're just talking shit. You're just mad because you lost." You know what? They might have had a point. They're all on
steroids.
Yeah, they might. Bisping said all the people he lost to was on steroids. Well, you know what? For the most part,
he's kind of right.
They were right. He was right.
Except for Rockhold, if you can believe, Rockhold's never failed a test, never been TRT.
I love Rockhold. The eye test says he might have been at one point. And
I'm not. Hold on. If you look at me with my shirt off, do you think that I'm on TRT? Rockhold and I have the same physique.
No,
I'm not on TRT.
Unless TRT is fucking cheeseburgers and French fries.
No, it's not cheeseburgers. It's bacon cheeseburgers, French fries, and chocolate shake.
I love Rockhold, but I'm not. I mean, obviously, innocent until proven guilty. But at one point, eye test says he might have been.
You're kind of saying he's guilty before even accused of being guilty. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Eye test, homie. Eye test.
Yeah, well.
Eye test. But co-main event, which is an amazing fight.
That's a
Amazing
fun fight.
Oh, it's
That's a
a
phone
super
booth fight
fun
right
fight.
there, dude.
The man that murdered Jake Ellenberger, and oh my God, Jesus, that elbow. That is the knockout of the year in my mind so far. The running.
So pretty. It was so scary.
There's no
man.
question. To me, there's no question. There's not even a question that what Mike Perry did to Jake Ellenberger in round 2 of their fight earlier this year is knockout of the year. That elbow he threw was fucking nasty.
It was scary, man. I thought Ellenberger wasn't going to wake up.
I thought he died. I was like, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. I know that's hyperbole, but oh my God, he was dead. Oh. And he's going up against Thiago Alves, the Pitbull, former welterweight contender, welterweight title contender. He's so hit and miss. I love Thiago Alves. I really do. I think he was at one time one of the best welterweights in the world.
Didn't he beat?
He beat Matt Hughes
too.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he was also overweight by a lot.
Yeah, he.
I think he weighed in at like 184 or something like that for that fight.
It was that high?
Yeah, dude, it was ridiculous.
It was like 5 or 6 pounds, not freaking.
You could be right. I could be exaggerating. I could have sworn he was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Either way, I think he was in the 200s and they fought because when you saw that fight, the size difference was ridiculous.
yeah, Thiago the
tell.
Pitbull was looking like a freaking Great Dane.
Oh my God!
But I think stylistically, this fight gives Thiago his best chance. I mean, Mike Perry's going to want to stand in a phone booth and friggin' slug. Technically, he does. Technically,
that's why. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I think because Alves likes to fight at range. He likes to strike at range, and Perry is going to stalk him. Alves has never been good at pressure. He's never been good at taking pressure. That's his problem. It's why he lost to Jim Miller when he tried to jump that back down to 155. And I think Perry's going to pressure the shit out of him. I think Perry's going to finish him, just like Rick Story. I mean, Rick Story didn't finish him, obviously, but I think Perry's got the striking power over Rick Story. That if he just pressures Alves, I think Rick Story finishes him in the second round as well.
I don't know if Mike beats Thiago. I'm going to pick Mike. That's where my gut is right now. But if Thiago knocks Mike out, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think he does. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Mike Perry. I'm a big fan of what he did to Jake Ellenberger. That knockout was sick.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a big fan of the guy. He said some racist stuff in the past. And I don't.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he said a lot of racist stuff in the past, and I'm not trying to race bait. This is all documented online. If anybody wants to go check it out, this dude has said some very racist shit. He should have never been given a chance in UFC, but I'm kind of glad he did because I like to watch good knockouts, and the man's provided some good knockouts. So
yeah, that's a bummer. I didn't know about him.
Yeah,
that totally turns me off to him, man. Because I liked him. I thought he was fun and exciting. I kind of liked his banter and the way he talked and his little kind of ghetto attitude was fun. But if he's a racist person, I mean, I'd have to see the tweets.
I mean, honestly,
but
I tend to look at it more like he might have just been. It just might have been like a product of his upbringing and territory. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't think because he's been very apologetic about it. He says, that's not how I am. That's not me now. And I'm going to take him at his word. But he has said these things. And at the time, he should have never been. The fact that him and his corner called Lim, Hung Yuk Lim, I think is the name.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. They were saying, knock that gook out. I'm going to knock that gook out. You don't say that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so
that's
not cool. Yeah, that's racist as fuck. That's not race baiting. Cool that's just racist as fuck. So you don't say that. The corner was saying that, and he was saying all that stuff. I think he's very apologetic about it. If he's changed his ways, good for you, Perry. I think you still win this fight.
Yeah, I think he wins. I'm going to pick him to win, but I would not be surprised if he fucking woke up on the canvas.
Yeah, I think Alves is done with. I think his career's over. Like as a top fighter in my mind.
A little shop worn, but yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of another guy, real quick, so we're going to do the top 3 on this card like we usually do for the most part. Another guy whose career I think is over is Hector Lombard taking on Anthony Smith. Journeyman Anthony Smith, and I think Anthony Smith wins this fight by decision. I have no faith in Hector Lombard, especially at middleweight. He's done.
His gas tank has definitely gotten a little bit better with less of a weight cut. He's such a phenomenal athlete and totally passes the eye test on his
Yeah.
USADA eye
Totally
test. He
passing the eye
that
test.
one for sure. Going up against a guy like Anthony Smith, who totally looks like he's on drugs.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
But,
I love the snark.
I'm gonna go against the favorite, and I'm gonna pick Anthony Smith in this fight to win via third round TKO.
Oh, so you think he's gonna finish him? I think Lombard is gonna gas, and he's gonna have the ability to finish him. That's
yeah.
No, I can see it. I mean, I got Smith going by decision, but
Anthony's not
I can
gassed.
see it. Anthony Smith is
Smith
actually very underrated. He's actually come into his own recently. He's not looked too bad.
I think he's taken on the role, like as you called earlier, journeyman. He's taken on like, look, I've been here, I've done that, man. I'm just getting him a fight. It's what I do. Is he going to win the belt? Is he going to be one of the best ever? No, but he's a guy that's found his spot. He's good and he's figured it out and he's comfortable now. And he's a journeyman fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a fun guy to watch. So hats off to him. I'm looking forward to watching him fight again.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, the man is 27-12. His last two fights are by wins by knockout and TKO. He TKO'd Elvis Mutapchik and KO'd Andrew Sanchez, which was a ridiculously awesome KO in my mind. He just swarmed on him.
I think he stops Hector.
Yeah, I think he's Damn, who has stopped Hector in the UFC though? Besides Magny, yeah, that's the crazy part. I mean, who stopped him at middleweight? Oh, yeah. Okay, that was a fluke. That was a freak fucking stoppage. That was amazing.
That was a Dan Henderson elbow from no one's ever thrown that elbow ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dan Henderson was like, "Welp, I might get knocked out on this next punch. I'm gonna throw this back elbow real quick." My God, he didn't even have to throw that head kick. That elbow dropped him. Jesus.
Miss with the overhand right, bring the elbow back into the chin of Lombard and throw the high kick, and just Lombard is nighty-night.
I don't think anybody. I think Dan Henderson was the underdog in the fight, and I don't think anybody in the world picked Henderson to win, aside from people picking him for sentimental reasons.
Favorites,
yeah, but Jesus, where's everybody cheering for him when he did it?
Yeah, dude, the old man knocked out the old, never used a steroid in his life, Hector Lombard.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I think Anthony stops Lombard. That's what I'm saying. But
no, you could be right, man. You could be right. We'll see what happens. I do want to, since we are talking about picks, our UFC fantasy group, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be coming to an end at the end of this year, and I'm going to keep talking about it every episode, so we can get you in there. If you want to join, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at it's Rock Robster. We're not exactly throwing out our stuff right now, but you go to UFC.com/fantasy. And you can join their fantasy picks. It's the basically a UFC pick'em. We do it every year. I am the Well, it hasn't been a bunch of people the first year, but I believe I am a 3-year running champion. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know, Joe. You and your wife hasn't joined yet and all that stuff. She's right behind me. Anyways, I'm still a 3-year defending champion. It is a UFC.com/fantasy. Sign up, join, search up Project Mayhem. Yes, I am a big Fight Club fan. It is the best movie ever made in my mind. That's where I got the name.
Sure.
If not, just look up Robert Taylor on Facebook. Robert Taylor, you just find me. You'll see my picture. I'm sitting there with a Jose Shorty Torres baseball tee, watching some Titan FC fights.
Shout out to the champ.
That is champ Jose Torres. Jesus, damn it! His next fight's in the fucking Titan, man. It should be in the UFC. That's a shame.
And he'll defend his belt against the only guy shorter than him.
Yeah, he'll defend it. Oh, he's gonna maul this man. He's gonna maul him, dude.
I think so.
Yeah, hey, we're talking about pro DJ, pro TJ. Nah, this is a pro Shorty podcast. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Join. Hey, if you don't know, the UFC Pick'em starts every year, ends at the last event of the year, begins at the beginning of the year, the first event. We usually do $50 a year. I think we're going to drop it. A lot of people are having trouble. They're complaining. We're going to drop it to about
because
25.
They're not winning.
Yeah, exactly, probably. We're going to cut it in half next year to 25 a year. 25 for the whole year, especially because if we get some of you join, it's a lot more people, so it might even out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the pick'em thing coming up. So join us. Try to beat the GOAT, Robert the GOAT. 3 years running.
Robert the GOAT.
Champ.
It's because you look like a goat. It's not because you're the greatest of all time.
That's right.
Because
That's
you
why
have
I
the
got a voice
physical
for radio.
appearance of a horned animal that eats trash.
That's why I got that's why I got the face for radio. Before we start getting into our usual social medias, Joe, next week, besides the Rockhold versus Branch, I think we also got an awesome fight coming up, boxing-wise.
Oh, heck yeah. Triple G versus Canelo. Dude, I'm so stoked on that fight, man. I'm really looking forward to that fight.
Galeti Golovkin, man. Oh, my God. And Canelo. Jesus Christ.
That's a tough one for me, man, because I'm a big Triple G fan. I love him. I love the way he fights. I love his power. I love his style. I love his timing, his work. But he takes too many to give too many, and I just don't think he can handle the power of Canelo. That dude hits fucking hard.
He does, but I think he does though. But I think he can take him. I think he could win the first 9 rounds, and even though his cardio will probably be gassed by that time, it'll be out. I think he could take those. He could survive those last 3.
We'll see, man.
Oh my God, I'm excited. That's the boxing match of the year. I don't care what anybody says about
fuck yeah.
That the boxing match that shall not be named.
Maymac was
Shut up,
fun.
shut up.
It was
Don't call my name. Don't call my name. Don't call my name.
Oh, what?
It's over. It was 2 weeks ago. Don't want to hear it.
Is it like a Harry Potter thing? Like he who shall not be named?
The Horcrux or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
The Slytherin or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Watched or listened or read.
It was 2 weeks ago. We don't talk about it. It's over. We get back to UFC fights. We get back to MMA boxing fights. We do them separately. Everybody's fucking happy. We're good to go. So yeah. So we both got Rockhold. I've got Triple G. You've got.
I want Triple G, but I'm just thinking Canelo's going to beat him.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that next week after the fight. We're obviously going to watch the MMA fights. We're going to watch the boxing fights.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to pay for it. I'll not quite legally stream it.
I wouldn't broadcast that to our 10 of viewers or listeners.
One of them might be somebody that can stop it. Either way,
hey, we're on iHeartRadio
I got
now,
Rockhold
buddy.
and I've got Triple G. So it's going to be a good. It's going to be a good weekend of fights. That's for damn sure.
Good weekend of fights, 100%.
So, Joe, you got some social media. Throw it out, homie.
I do. It is Joe Hud45 on Twitter and MMA to the Max Joe on Instagram. Check it out. I'm trying to really work up my social media game. Give me a follow and catch up on all the awesome things I'm posting out there. Best way to keep in touch.
You definitely got to work on your hashtag game. That's for damn sure.
Hey, my last post was good.
Yeah,
the one with,
you got to work
Ferguson
on those hashtag
Lee,
games. Yeah, but you got to do it more on Instagram more than you do Twitter. You got to hashtag Instagram. Instagram's where it's at, man. When it comes to hashtags,
that's what your kids are doing these days.
People on Twitter don't give a fuck. Instagram people though, they'll see it and they'll like it. They'll follow. They're great. So they Instagram people, they like you. They like people.
Yes. Let's go.
Speaking of that, so you can follow me on Twitter at It's Rock Robster. Yes, in case anybody's asking, it is a B-52 song that I stole it from. Rock Robster. I'm sure you get it. Follow me at Instagram at MMA to the Max Rob. As always, we do have our Facebook page at facebook.com/MMA Max Podcast. Find us there. Find our episodes. We usually talk about what have you, asking everybody what they think about the fights, who they think is going to win. All this good stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Our show does have its own Twitter at MMA to the Max Show. Follow that. It's still kind of new. It's trying to find its ground. I've had Twitter for a very long time before the show came around, so it's hard to kind of try to build the followers again. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have another giveaway. I do want to point out right now that the winner of the recent giveaway has not gotten their speaker yet, because I'm going to say this right now because I am going to be honest. There was a miscommunication between us and the sponsor. We advertised a Flip 4. They gave us a Flip 3, and I'm having a lot of trouble trying to exchange it. And the reason why I could have just been one of those shows that just said, hey, you know what? Here's the Flip 3. Have fun, enjoy it. I'm not that guy. For the winner of the last giveaway, Nikki Moore Rhodes, if it comes down to it and I have to, and I'm saying this so everybody can know that we are an honest podcast, we are honest people, I will send you the Flip 3 and I will send you money for the difference in the Flip 4. That's just, I'm sorry. I'm trying to, the sponsor's kind of being a little flaky about it. I apologize. I will make it right. But we are having a giveaway, ladies and gentlemen, through Zane's Tupperware pretty soon as well. And also because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give away some signed gloves from the one, the only axe murderer, Vanderlei Silva. So stay tuned for that.
How do I win?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Enter. We're gonna talk about it pretty soon. But these are authenticated, 100% verified, signed training gloves from the one, the only axe murderer, Vanderlei Silva. Ladies and gentlemen, you're a big fan. I know a lot of people aren't very happy of how he's turned out lately, but they're coming. So Joe, hey, before you go there, I do want to talk about real quick before we go. As you know, and a lot of people obviously know from listening, I'm a big WWE fan, pro wrestling fan, as well as obviously MMA. MMA comes first, true, by the fact everybody knows. I want to give a shout out to MMA's own Shayna Baszler, who joined pro wrestling less than a year ago, and has made her name and made her presence known on the WWE network. Seriously, honestly, I get it, you guys, if you don't watch wrestling, if you just want to go check out Shayna Baszler, a former pro fighter, obviously, as everybody knows, a pioneer in women's MMA. She's taken to pro wrestling like it was just a second job the entire time. It's come natural to her, and it's been phenomenal watching her. So I'm just throwing it out so somebody might want to look at it as like a crossover.
Yeah, give it a watch. Not necessarily my cup of tea these days, but
no, it doesn't have to be.
Still entertaining. Yeah,
I just want to shout out Shayna Baszler because I've always been a big fan of her since the beginning of women's MMA and all that. When she was one of the biggest pioneers, she's always done great by women's MMA. Tried to do her best. It's a shame that people didn't see her until the UFC adopted women's MMA, and they just saw that side of her when she was already past her prime in fighting. But I just want people to check her out at a new endeavor because she deserves it. Shayna Baszler deserves it. She's a pioneer. She's one of the best women fighters that's ever existed. So don't just judge everything by what you see on UFC right now. Go back, watch some old fights, find out who some of these fighters were before it became popular and the UFC brought it up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I just had to put that out. So, I think that's it. I think we're good, right? We don't talk about. Do you want, before we do that, you want to just throw out like a fuck John Jones?
Yeah, no, dude. I'm still hurt. Like I'm still like an angry ex. I don't want to talk about him.
I got you, brother. I got you. All right. Well, that'll do it for episode number 10. Numero 10 of MMA The Max. I'm your host, Robert Taylor. As always, joined by my co-host.
Yes, I'm your co-host.
Yeah, that's probably my fuck up.
No problem, my friend.
I felt like I was redoing it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I am your host, Robert Taylor.
And I'm Riverside Joe.
There we go. Yeah, we did it right that time. Whatever. Join us next week. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.